Hey folks! Today's video is going to be the kind of, I guess, revamping the reboot, I guess, of my makeup archive series. And today we are going to be talking about the
early 90s.
And I thought that I would kind of jump around decades. I wanted to start with the 90s because, like, I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 89, but, like, I was a 90s baby. I was so unaware of the makeup trends at the time because I was a mere tot, and my mom also didn't wear any makeup. So this was actually a fun bit of research, and obviously we've seen things on television, we've watched movies, but I thought I would start with the early 90s because that was the start of my life. A whole 32 years. It's so long ago now. Oh my god. Obviously, they don't have the same kind of in-depth archives of like what came out exactly this year, and there weren't as many products released back in the 90s. There was whole brands that got launched. We're going to be talking about whole brands, maybe some individual products, as well as like trends, things that you would have seen in the early 90s. And I wanted to split the decade up into two parts because there's not enough information nor releases to make each video 1 year, at least not for the 90s. Maybe when I get to the 2000s, like 2001, 2002, I'll do that. But I wanted to split the 90s up into two different videos. So the early 90s and the late 90s. Early 90s, you know, the era of grunge and the end of hair metal, the era of the supermodel like Cindy Crawford and Linda Evangelista. I have a list, I have screenshots, I have things that we're going to talk about on my phone here with my new phone case on it, which brings me to today's sponsor, CASHAPP. Today's video is sponsored by CASHAPP. When I got my CASHAPP box in the mail, I was so excited because this is the first phone I've had, the first new phone I've had in a long time. So I was excited to actually get some new and cute phone cases. I love all of the design choices you have. There's so many options on their website when it comes to actual designs and then materials as well. They have their impact and ultra impact cases, which are made of 65% recycled and plant-based materials, and they're compatible with 5G and wireless charging. So if you wanted to like put your phone down on one of those wireless chargers, it would work. But then they also have the sustainable cases, which are even more recycled material, and then they have the liquid cases, they have the more basic cases, there's leather cases, there's a ton of different kinds of cases you can get on there, ones that are customizable and ones that are more kind of stock designs. This one I got is a stock design and I love it, and I did get to customize a couple of them with specific designs and fonts with my names, or you could do your monogram, you could put like words of affirmation if you wanted, you could put a lot of different things you could put on the phone. And another great thing with CASHAPP is they have their drop protection, which is called CheTech. Their CheTech 2.0 technology is drop test approved for drops up to 9.8 feet. And this one particularly I have on right now, this is the Ultra Impact, and it has these like really nice bumpers on the corners, so it's like extra safe and stuff, because I have broken many phones in my day. I don't want to do that anymore. And to make you feel even better, CASHAPP is keeping you safe. Their cases are 100% non-toxic and non-hazardous, and they also feature an antimicrobial coating that keeps your case germ-free, killing 99% of bacteria, which is just, it's nice to know because everybody's hands are a little bit gross, and having antimicrobial coatings on your phone cases keeps it from getting as gross as it could. You know, because like we touch a lot of things in a day. The Ultra Impact case includes the addition of the trademarked shock dispersing CheTech 2.0 material on the bumper, protecting all four of the corners. So if you would like to try out any of CASHAPP's cases, go to CASHAPP.com/Abby Williamson to save 15% off your order. That is CASHAPP.com/Abby Williamson, and that's 15% off your order. So check them out. There's a ton of options. There's a ton of cases, and I was super happy with all of the ones that I got. And I have cases for several days of the week. I don't have to stick with the same case all the time. Thanks so much to CASHAPP for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the 90s makeup.
So
I went to a bunch of different blogs, a bunch of different websites like Allure, Elle, a ton of different websites to look up makeup of the 90s, brands that were released, etc. So let's actually start with the brands that were released in the early 90s. This one This one I remember because my aunt had a lot of these at her house when we were kids. Bath and Body Works hit the world in 1990. Bath and Body Works, who now people really only pay attention to for the body sprays and the candle sale. They used to be just everywhere. I mean, they're still everywhere, but for different reasons. You would get the little trios of lotion and shower gel and shampoo, which was like awful shampoo. You should never use the Bath & Body Works shampoo, especially if you're hoarding them from the early 90s, because you should probably throw it out after that point. But Bath & Body Works was 1990 when it hit the shelves, and I feel like the way that Bath & Body Works was branded back in the day are what people use to like make fun of like graphic design as my passion stuff now, because it was so... I mean, it was so of the times. It was so of the times for all you youngins who were born after 1990. Hello, I am old. But look at how products looked. Look at what they looked like. Weren't they ridiculous? Yes. Oh my God. My aunt had these. My best friend's mom had so many of them. My best friend's mom was like a Mary Kay lady. And she had a ton of Bath & Body Works stuff as well as Mary Kay. Oh man. Freesia. I remember that smell. If I smelled Freesia right now, it would probably yeet me back to like 1992, to be honest. Maybe not 92, maybe 94. Maybe 94. Because 92 I was 3. If I smelled Freesia right now, it would be nostalgic, for sure. Bath & Body Works needs to come back with those iconic, like, early scents. They need to bring them back. Please. That would be amazing. And in the weird, dorky, original-looking packaging. I dare them. Bobbi Brown, 1991. Bobbi Brown, to be honest, has been one of those brands that has not evolved a ton as far as like branching out into like more wacky products. But I feel like that's worked for them because they kind of started with complexion and more natural makeup, and like Bobbi Brown is a makeup artist, and Bobbi Brown Cosmetics, I think, was one of the bigger ones that were like fronted by actual makeup artists. At the time, I didn't see any of the other ones getting really big in the 90s. Obviously, we've had a ton in the last like 10 years, but back then, I feel like Bobbi Brown was the makeup artist that started her own brand. And I've never really bought much from Bobbi Brown because of, I don't know, it wasn't as accessible for me and it was a bit more expensive, but like everything I've seen of Bobbi Brown, she seems like a cool person. Like somebody asked her once, I saw a video of her recently where someone asked her about like nose contouring and she was like, I wish we would stop doing that. Like just embrace your nose. Why do we have to make our noses smaller? And I was like, yes, thank you, Bobbi Brown. I think that all the time. Bobbi Brown definitely started out with nude type things, pencils, complexion, bronzers, more of the kind of, makeup artist staples. And they've kind of kept with that through the years. And I feel like they've built a really good reputation over the years as well. And they're still around. They're still inside Nordstrom. So I think they're in some Sephoras, but not all of them. Stila came out in 1994. And this makes so much sense for why their labels look the way they are. Why their logo looks the way that it is, it still looks like it's from 1994. That's why. And Stila, they were one of the early brands that I started using when I started getting into high-end makeup. I remember seeing like a 3-pack or a 3 to 4-pack of their like little lip gloss click wands at Costco. And you would get like 4 colors. One was kitten, and then they had some other pale peachy pink ones. But it came in a little like cardboard Kirkland thing from Costco. And that was like the first time I used anything from Stila. Oh, they were so cute. Honestly, in the 90s, if you look at the makeup that Stila was putting out, it looks really similar to like the Balm, but almost, go with me here. If you ever had American Girl dolls and you ever bought any books from the like American Girl like book section, I don't remember what the name of the company was. It was like a bigger name that wasn't just American Girls, but they had those like the Care and Keeping of Girls and all of those like self-help teen books for like pubescent girls, which I had a few, but all of the designs of these early Stila products remind me of those, and that's actually really cute. That actually is kind of adorable. I want that. Oh my god. Oh my god, I want it. That's adorable. Oh, love it. Nars also was launched in 1994, and Nars, again, it's one of those brands that didn't change a whole lot as far as aesthetic, as far as packaging. Obviously, they've added to their brand, and Nars was used a lot more on the runway. I feel like in the 90s, obviously you didn't have nearly as many makeup brands at the time, but Nars was definitely one of those that were more exclusive to makeup artists and for models on the runway versus stuff that you were buying from the store to bring home as a regular consumer. So Nars definitely expanded that, but in the 90s, in the early 90s, they were one of the it brands for the runway, all the editorial looks. One specific product, this brand is far older. I will say this brand is far older than the 90s, but this specific product came out in the 90s and it was so damn popular that they brought it back like 10 years ago. Clinique's Almost Lipstick in Black Honey. And I almost bought this when they re-released it about a decade ago, but I did end up buying like the powder because they released a ton of different Black Honey products. They like did a relaunch, re-release of this iconic shade, which looks black in the lipstick tube, but it goes on like a really pretty kind of berry brown. This was definitely very indicative of the kinds of makeup that people were wearing in the 90s, whether it was like casual supermodel type looks or people on TVs, people on the red carpet, people in music videos, like a lot of earth tones, a lot of browns, a lot of like some kind of maroon type shades, but it was a lot of browns. And Black Honey had kind of both of those, the kind of maroon plum with the brown. When you think of Clinique's like main products, I feel like you think of their skincare products, but when it comes to their actual makeup, the Black Honey lipstick is like one of the more iconic Clinique products, and it was pretty. I almost bought it. Like I told you, I almost bought it. A couple other brown lipsticks that were very indicative of the trends. Revlon's Toast of New York. I don't know why it's called that. I will say that's a silly name for a product. I don't know why it's called that, but it's brown. It's like a reddish brown. It's like a lighter version of MAC's Viva Glam 1. And it was just, Revlon hasn't changed their damn lipstick tubes in forever, and these look exactly the same. I kind of love it. And then another brown lipstick that was a little bit lighter. It was L'Oreal's Toasted Almond lipstick. It's all toast. It's all toast. Toast of New York and toasted almond. L'Oreal's Toasted Almond was another staple, another very popular color for the 90s. And honestly, I'd wear this. Oh, and MAC Paramount. Oh my God, I love that color. MAC Paramount was another one that was very popular. And this shows up in a lot of images next to Jennifer Aniston from Friends. This might have been a little bit more popular the latter half of the 90s. The brown lipstick was getting into trend, was getting into popularity. And like I said, with the supermodels, Cindy Crawford and Linda Evangelista and all the movie stars were wearing brown lipstick. Okay, so a brand that I did not realize how long of a history it had, Hard Candy. Hard Candy nail polish got really big in Clueless. Like, Clueless was kind of what helped to launch it and help make it bigger. And particularly the shade. What was the shade?
Sky.
Sky was the only color that mattered, on according to this blog. It's a very light baby blue shade. And it was very But Hard Candy was in Sephora for a period of time. Then it left, and then it went to Walmart exclusively. I need to just do a deep dive on Hard Candy one of these days because they are a confusing brand, and there's so much history to it. And the fact that they're still around is honestly kind of impressive. Oh my God, that's so Clueless. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the 90s. Okay. When you look at the style of 1990s makeup, you didn't have a lot of blush. You didn't have a lot of highlight. It was a lot of very like matte or fresh skin with a lot of brown lip, a lot of brown eyeshadow, and then full brows for the first half of the 90s. I feel like eyebrows are the one makeup thing that like really changed a lot throughout the 90s. From the early 90s, they were a lot bushier, they were a lot stronger, they were a lot more like bam, pow, like in your face. And then when you get to the end of the 90s is when everybody started overplucking them and it looked like we had dead tadpoles on our face. But the early 90s was definitely all about the bushier brows. Those are the brows that have come back into style over the last few years. So I'm not mad about it. I like those brows. I like full natural brows. as you can tell. Yeah, supermodels Naomi Campbell, Linda Evangelista, Cindy Crawford, Claudia Schiffer, and Christy Turlington. Oh man. And Cameron Diaz, Julia Roberts, and Jennifer Aniston. I feel like we're the kind of big celebrities in the 90s that people look at for like makeup photos. I feel like all those blogs that'll do like nostalgic makeup history lessons or whatever, those are the people and those are the celebrities that end up being in those photos. I will have links below as well. Yeah, basically it was just eyebrows, lips, and eyeshadow. That was where people focused on. And the colors as far as like lips and eyes, lip was a lot of nude, a lot of brown. It had a little bit of plum. Some people wore plum, and then like a light nude, like a light kind of beigey nude. But then on the eyes, you had some browns and grays, but then you also had some like really rich teals and kind of more olivey greens, which again are some of my favorite eyeshadow colors. But it is kind of funny when people started doing like 90s makeup looks and it was just like reddy browns. I'm like, that's not how people wore their eyeshadow in the 90s. People didn't wear red unless you were in like a very specific subculture of people. And the thing with the makeup in the early 90s, it was such a huge shift from the makeup and the fashion from the 80s. Like when in the 80s, you had all these bright colors, all these over-the-top looks, big hair, bright clothes, big clothes. And it was just a different kind of world when it came to fashion. And I feel like more than previous decades, and honestly more than later decades, makeup and fashion really kind of went together at that kind of cusp of 1990, from the late 80s where everything was bright and fun, over the top. You had a lot of like Valley Girl type style. And then in the early 90s, it got darker, it got a little grungier, it got a little more like sultry. It's very obvious, like looking at the fashion from those years and the kind of models that they use. All of that kind of led to a more neutral, a more earth-toned, a more subdued, a more like sepia tone kind of look. It was just a lot of monochromatic brown on brown, which is a look, I will say. I like that look. It was a very stark difference from the makeup of the 80s when you think of like high cheekbone blush and like bright lipstick and bright eyeshadow and bright everything. Whereas in the 90s, it just got a lot mellower. I think that was everything I wanted to talk about in today's makeup archives. It was a little bit scattered, but this was the first kind of one of these. Next time I will probably have a bit more like concrete thoughts, but I kind of wanted just to jump into the 90s because I love talking about it and I love talking about the makeup of the 90s. Because like I said, my mom didn't wear makeup and I was a child of the 90s. It's a fun decade to look back on. For today's song of the day, it is... Let's Have It Be Zombie by the Cranberries, because I feel like it, and it's a song from the 90s, so damn right, we're gonna have some songs to go along with the decades. Heck yes. I don't know why I wasn't doing that for every single Makeup Archives video. I think I started doing that and then I stopped. I don't know why. But yeah, so Zombie by the Cranberries is your song of the day. So definitely go check it out. I will leave links to some of the sources and blogs that I used for information down here, as well as the links to Casetify down below. You guys should definitely go check it out. Go check out all the links down below that I have. There's a plethora of them. Before I go, if you could give this video a like if you liked it, that'd be fantastic. Subscribe if you're new here and would like to see more of my content, because I upload videos Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, although this week I might miss Friday. Bear with me if I do. I've got some stuff going on that I might not be able to like be home enough to film and edit, but if not, I'll see you later. And then if you want to follow me on any of my other social media, my Instagram and my Twitter are both Abras07, and then my Twitch is Abras without the 07, so you can follow me there if you would like. You don't have to. It's your choice. It's your prerogative. You know, whatever you want to do. But I hope you guys are having a good week so far. Stay hydrated, get some sleep, and I will see you all next time.